Today, I'm going to show you one of the most important steps that you can do when starting a new drywall taping project. Now, you professional tapers out there, you already know what this is, but for all the people who don't know, all the people who are just learning, or maybe homeowners working on their home project, I'm going to show you what it is. Let's get into it. Pre-fill, one word that all tapers know and that all tapers should be doing, but sadly, not all do. The good ones do it. I'm going to show you why and how. Some of you might be asking, well, what is pre-fill and why do we need to do it? Pre-fill is basically just getting it ready, getting the levels nice and flush with areas that are pretty nasty, to be honest. But it is what it is. We got to work on it. We got to get the homeowner happy. I'm going to show you a couple spots that need to be worked on before actually starting the tape. So you can see this drywall job isn't the greatest. There's large gaps of about 1/2 inch in certain areas. This flat joint here, as we call it, a little too big for my liking. See some broken drywall here. There's larger gaps in the corners. Again, there's some poly and paper sticking out in some joints. Some random screws that are sticking out way too far. Look at this butt joint. It's pretty large level difference there. So some of the things that you're going to need to do pre-fill is a mud box, a knife. I use a 6-inch, that's my go-to. And then you're gonna need some unmixed drywall compound. Now I already have it in a pail from a previous job, but this here is Cinco Yellow. Comes in the yellow boxes from your material supplier, and this is unmixed. I just dumped it into a bucket. Some thick mud, I got my 6-inch. Let's go over to that joint over there and I'll show you how to pre-fill. Now, if you're brand new to drywall taping, you might be asking, well, why do we need to do pre-fill? And I'm going to show you. This joint here, it's pretty rough, like there shouldn't be this big lip here. And basically what we want to do is get this level. So once we start mudding and taping this, if I don't pre-fill, it's going to be a lot harder to get smooth and level. And once they paint it, it's going to look pretty bad. So basically how to do pre-fill: mud on your knife, and basically just sideways try to fill in that level difference all the way up. Now, it's not rocket science, it's nothing hard, but it's just some things that I do automatically that I don't even think about. You guys might be wondering, well, how does he do that? Why is he doing this? Basically, I always try to keep my 6-inch clean. So every time I swipe or mud something, I'll clean it off on my mud box. Now this joint, I have my mud filled in. I'll get you a little closer. I kind of filled in that mud into the joint, and I'll just, with medium pressure, smooth that out, top to bottom. And now you can see, once that dries, it'll be a pretty level surface. And I just usually go around before I start taping and get things prepped. Down here you can see there's this level difference here too. I'm going to fill that in. So same technique. I get mud on my blade and sideways. Just get that filled in. Fill that in. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to get mud on our blade. Go all the way down. And again, with medium pressure, we fill that in. So basically, I go through the entire basement. I do that to every single butt joint, every single bad spot that I can find. And now I'm going to show you how I do the big gaps in the inside angles. So now we're at this inside angle, and you can see the gap here is pretty large in this 90-degree inside corner. I'm going to show you what I do to get that gap filled. So again, I take mud on my blade, start where the gap gets big, and just work my way up, getting it into that big seam. And then again, just like the butt joints, we do the same thing with this. Swipe it down. Sometimes you gotta go over it twice. Clean off the excess. It's gonna have nice firm backing for the tape. And nothing's gonna bubble, nothing's gonna pop out from that huge gap. So a pro tip for you, what I like to do, what I was talking when I was just starting out, go wall by wall. So basically I'm gonna show you what I mean. So let's say I pick a spot right here. I'm gonna start at this counter bar area. And I'm gonna go wall by wall and pre-fill everything along the way. That way it's a surefire way to not miss anything. So basically I start here, oh, I see a butt joint, I'm gonna pre-fill that. And then I keep going along the wall. For example, there's a butt joint right there I can pre-fill, a butt joint right here I can pre-fill. Down here, okay, it's nice. One more butt joint. Working our way to the stairs, there's this big butt joint, floor to ceiling, huge gap. I'm going to pre-fill that and just work my way up, pre-fill all that stuff, back down, do a pre-fill. And basically this is a good way of not missing anything. So you guys get the point. Go wall by wall, you don't miss anything. It's easier, just a good system to have. So now we're back to this broken piece of drywall next to this plug. Now I'm going to show you how to pre-fill it. So what you do is you cut it out with your knife. Again, you get some mud on your blade. You just kind of jam it in there. Wipe down all the sides. And once that dries, it's going to be a nice firm back for that. And I'm also going to fill in this large gap here. So again, same as the butt joint, same technique. Just go sideways. Get your blade clean. And you wipe. So now once that dries, gap is going to be gone. We'll have a nice backing for our tape. Same thing on this side. Same thing around this plug that's got a huge gap. Just clean that up. So here's another butt joint on a ceiling bulkhead. That's pretty out there. The levels are pretty off. So again, fill in the one side that's lower. So this side is lower than this side. So the majority of the mud goes on this side of the butt joint. And again, we wipe it clean. And there you have it, a nice flush surface to work with. Now this big gap up here is a bit of a doozy. Show you it's be a 1/4 inch, a little bit more. I'm going to show you how I fill those. So again, take your thick mud, basically jam it in there. If it seeps into the wall a little bit, just be sure to add a little bit more. Sometimes that happens. And then same technique, just run your knife through, get it nice and flush. I'll show you here. Now that gap is filled. Sometimes it seeps out if it's too thick, but it can be fixed. Once it dries, you can just scrape off a little bit if you need to. So you guys might be thinking, man, this is going to take forever to do the entire basement, but I'm going to show you how quick it really goes. So right here, there's 2 butt joints, and it's going to take about 10 seconds to do both. Done. 2 butt joints down in 10 seconds. So that's it. Pre-fill is done. If I wasn't filming and moving around my camera, I'd probably be done pre-fill in 5 to 10 minutes, this entire basement. So like I said earlier, it's not a long process, it's not rocket science, it's quite simple. You just gotta get the hang of it. Now, when I was just starting out taping, I'd have more mud on the floor and on my shoes than I would on the wall. So it's a process. It takes time to get a hang of things, how mud works, how mud drips, how to mix things. So there you have it. That's it. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know how you do it, and I'll see you on the next one.